What's going on, everybody? Chris here from Trackman Reviews. Got another shoe review coming at you today. So the shoe we're going to be taking a look at is the Hoka One One Vanquish. Now, personally, I don't really run in Hoka shoes very often. The ones that I've tried, I haven't really loved. So this will be an interesting review for me because just in my experiences, I've never really been a Hoka fan. So I'll try to be as unbiased as I can. I'm going to start out by giving you the specs, taking a look at it, doing a little unboxing. Then after we do that, I'm going to go for a run in them, and then I'll tell you what I think about them from my experiences running in them. And then from there, we'll give it a final rating. So let's get started with that unboxing. So they come in a nice blue box, as is standard for Hoka. Now what I want to know is what is this? I never knew what that was. So if somebody knows, go ahead and let me know in the comments what that is supposed to be. Anyway, there it is in there. So yeah, usually not a Hoka guy myself. Story behind this review actually is I had a buddy who told him I was doing this channel, and he said, "Hey, I can get you a pair of Vanquishes." And I said, "Sure, why not? You know, I'll do it." So why would I turn that down? You know. So here we are. We got it. Now, upon just first look, you know, looks like an okay shoe. Doesn't look as clunky as you would come to expect from a typical Hoka shoe. Looks like it's pretty streamlined, pretty you know, pretty good looking shoe. Got Hoka right on the side there. Vanquish 3 right there. It's a good looking shoe, nice color, you know. Now here's some specs I was able to gather for this shoe. So this is marketed as a premium daily trainer. So something that would fall in line with something like the Nike Vomero or the Brooks Glycerin or the Saucony Triumph, something like that. There's going to be a lot of cushion in there. It's also going to have a bit of a higher price point. I believe this one is $170 for the price point, so it's kind of up there. Pretty up there actually. But so yeah, this is their premium trainer. Now as far as the midsole goes, it is a dual layer midsole, so it's supposed to have a unique kind of feel to it. We'll see when I try it out, but the idea with this shoe is that it is nice and soft and cushy on impact. With that first layer, that's what you're going to be feeling. And then the bottom layer is going to be stiff and responsive. So sort of like in the Zoom Fly, like I was reviewing earlier, it's going to be nice and responsive, but still nice and soft on the inside upon impact. From what I gathered with my research on this shoe, the upper is supposed to be pretty durable. You can see it has this kind of material on it. I'm not really sure what you'd call that, but it's a little more durable than mesh. Which it also has, but it like coats the mesh. There's a nice heel cup to it, pretty rigid. From what I've gathered, it's supposed to kind of lock your foot into the shoe. So it is marketed as a neutral shoe. However, all Hokas kind of have a hint of stability to them from what they call their active foot frame. We can kind of see that in the heel counter. Here, there's that plastic piece there, and kind of on this side as well on both sides. And that's really just to keep your foot in a stable position to avoid overpronation. Like I said, all Hoka shoes are going to have this. So it is marketed as a neutral, but it may be a little more stable than your typical neutral shoe. This is basically neutral for a Hoka. To talk more about that active foot frame, the inside has sort of like a bucket seat feel to it. Your foot's gonna kind of sit in there, and there's a bit of a rocker to it as well. So the heel to toe drop is 5 millimeters, so kind of on the low side, but I believe that's actually sort of the usual for Hoka shoes. Even though they have these really thick soles, the heel to toe drop is not usually very large. The weight is just under 9.5 ounces for a size 9, which is what this is. And yeah, the big thing with this one is just focusing on cushioning, giving you support, and being a responsive, neutral shoe. Okay, so now we've got the specs out of the way. I'm going to go do a short little run in these things and tell you what I think. So I'll see you in a bit. So just got back from my short little run. It was my second run of the day. It's a pretty hot one out here. It's about 100 degrees over here in Sacramento. So it was definitely tough. I was planning on just doing like 20 minutes, but I was really not feeling good once I started. So I just ended up doing 2 miles. But anyways, on to the shoe. So I was actually pleasantly surprised. It felt pretty good and didn't quite feel like too much like I'm used to in a regular Hoka shoe, or at least the ones that I've tried. I mean, I could definitely tell there was a lot of cushioning here, but it wasn't so much that it was like bothersome. Now, it probably wouldn't be my first choice of a trainer. I've run the Nike Pegasus for a long time, and that one has always been a really good one for me, like a good blend of cushioning and responsiveness. Now, not to say that this isn't responsive. I actually felt like I had some good bounce in this, but in my daily trainer, I do like to feel the ground a little bit more. Some pros of the Vanquish 3 for me were that it was very cushioned. My legs were pretty tired going into this run, so having something cushioned that was going to take the impact for me was nice. I definitely felt the cradling of the active foot frame, and I really kind of understand what they mean now when they say that the midsole sort of suspended. It really did feel like my foot was kind of just being held there, and it had this big outsole beneath it. Now let's talk about cons, what I didn't like about this shoe. Obviously the price point's going to be a big one. I was lucky enough to receive this shoe at no charge. but I would imagine that if I were a consumer going out to buy this shoe, it would be a tough sell for me. While it did feel pretty good and pretty cushioned, I kind of had the same issue that I have with all Hokas, and just that it felt like a little too much shoe for me. That might just be something I'm kind of stuck with, because that really seems to be the nature of all Hoka shoes. Other than that, there really wasn't much that I disliked about it. So for myself personally, I think this would be like a shakeout shoe. Something that I would run my easy runs in, maybe my doubles in, just where my legs are feeling beat up and I want something soft that's going to take the impact for me. However, just based on the kind of shoes that I like and the shoes that I've had success with, I don't think that I would use this as like a daily trainer, but I'm sure there's several athletes out there who would really benefit from using this one day to day. So at the end of the day, to me, this is an easy run and shakeout shoe. So, ladies and gentlemen, out of 5 stars, what am I going to give the Hoka One One Vanquish? My rating for this shoe is going to be 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think it's a good shoe, but I am not super impressed with it. Again, that is based all on personal preference. I have never really been a huge Hoka fan, like I said. I've tried to keep my bias out of it, but I tried the shoe on. I thought it was good, not great. But hey, I'll wear it, I'll take it out for some easy runs. I'll put it in my cycle, Alright, so that's going to do it for today's episode, everybody. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I want to hear from you. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe. I'd love to keep making these videos for you guys. Let me know what you want to see next. Also, feel free to follow me on Strava. I put the link down in the description. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. I will see you next time.